Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have why Drake just went on the most insane rant ever and cried victim at his show yet again. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop for the video, and this Drake tour honestly has been quite the chaotic mess. From canceled shows to allegedly logistics or low ticket sales to attempts at sympathy farming and signs begging for money, vacations, and to retire their parents. It's been quite the shit show to say the least. And Drake trying to frame himself as a victim is wild, considering the amount of mudslinging and behind the scenes shenanigans he's allegedly pulled. I mean, you can say you're not a snake all you want, but if it quacks like a duck and moves like a duck, then more than likely it's a duck. Plus, suing for a beef that he instigated and took to a much more egregious personal level by crossing the line by involving scandalous claims about Kendrick's family is as unhip hop as you can get, because you can't throw mud at somebody's doorstep and be surprised when that energy is reciprocated. And Drake, we didn't believe your mob boss cosplay before all this, and now it's honestly just even cringier. If he truly wants the right person to blame, he has to first look at the man in the mirror, because I truly feel like Drake has been his own worst enemy with L move after L move, moves that defy logic. But enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video, where we have Drake just went on the most insane rant ever and cried victim at his show. And I'm going to add yet again. These fairy tale narratives ain't fooling anyone other than the cult of the Ovihoites, and they've definitely been proven to defy all logic and really achieve the most insane levels of delusion. But that dismantling at the hands of Kendrick Lamar last year has really sent this dude on a spiral.
Now, when it comes to Drake, well, if you are ready to see how with yet another show on the Kendrick Lamar turned me into a Karen clown show circus, Drake just had another rant on stage and has never looked more delusional and insane for it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and now really, Drake has now
He really should change the name of the tour to the Grand International Victim Tour.
fully gone from trying to be all about family matters to Karen matters,
Especially if he's going to keep bringing up Kendrick.
in the span of a year, and so have all of his delusional fans with him. I gotta ask once again to leave that like, because the Drake fans keep annoying me and they don't want you to see these videos. But with the current state of where Drake's tour is at, well, now really, if this was not rap's biggest Stranger Things fanatic and it was other rappers who were known to rant and crash out on
I love that Millie Bobby Brown reference.
stage in the past, well, the media would be saying the worst things right now about Drake, because really, if there were more people aware of the decay that is happening to the biggest Karen in rap flat
In real
out right
time.
now, the entire world would see how this mega Karen has truly morphed into not just a bitter and pathetic figure of what they once were, but even worse than that, what's really fueling this gargantuan size fall off is the fact that the circle of people around Laubrey keep validating him to dive further and
that's the biggest issue. When you just have a bunch of yes people and a fan base that isn't going to hold you accountable, you get this.
further into this persona, and as a result, further and further away from what any of us could even try to understand here in reality. And specifically what I am talking about is coming after a tour and set of shows where already every humiliating thing has
It is crazy that people were trying to downplay Kendrick Lamar's performing abilities when every clip we've seen from a Drake show, like I said, is almost like a Make-A-Wish concert decorated by a sea of signs, like I said, just begging for stuff.
pretty much happened to Drake, and within this, we already saw that whole weird tangent where he said that he was not a snake, only to find out right after that he has never been a bigger one. And then, of course, every other bad
It wasn't right after. I feel like a lot of people have said that for a very long time.
thing has happened, from having to cancel shows for strange reasons to people throwing toilet paper at you, people trying to recycle right next to you on stage with water bottles, and with forgetting your lyrics.
The fans just might be looking at him and think that he needs the hydration, because he's definitely been very thirsty for the attention and sympathy.
But now, all of this is coming together to have another mega Karen
Or who knows? Actually, it might just be like Space Jam, and he's just giving him that special juice, that special water. Pause.
moment. As really, with the latest moment from Drake, what we have seen is almost worse, and it's definitely more baffling.
The miners
in terms
chasing
of
him
what
again?
You're hearing Drake say this time, because just in terms of somebody trying to be a master manipulator, well, when we look at the first rant he made about snakes, that one kind of made sense from the perspective of trying to peddle lies onto your fans more and more to get them to support you no matter what.
And to be a master manipulator, you have to be good at it, which is something that he hasn't been over the past year, other than his own fan base that's going to try to justify everything and spin the narrative and constantly move the goalposts, no matter how many facts are in their face.
The rant that we hear here feels like a disjointed script that was thrown out at the Stranger Things audition room that Drake was hanging around for way too long, because seriously, The thoughts that Drake is trying to push to create this further and further persona of a victim here is genuinely baffling. And so now let's just get into the latest lose it moment from Lamo Lawbray, which says, and I will regretfully quote, "I had everybody tell me it would never happen for you. Well, it will never happen to you because you are on a TV show and you are a child actor." Which, quick pause, technically Drake was a teen actor, and I don't know why he keeps using these strange and specific
Well, same thing. You're still a child. And I don't really think it's the fact that he was a child actor as much as it was how corny people perceived him back then.
phrases.
Well, I guess people do perceive him that same way now, but it was pretty bad back then too.
Because I don't even have to say any more things.
Wheelchair
The jokes
Jimmy.
just write themselves. And when we just break this down for a second, when Drake is saying that he wouldn't become a famous musician because he already was famous for being an actor, I mean, are you really gonna
You pretty much have a head start at that point, especially when it comes to relationships that you've already built. And it's not like his pops didn't have any connections in the music industry either. I mean, Drake's uncle was definitely connected.
try to sit here and act like you are a victim when you already had some sort of a platform and had connections in the industry to make way for yourself? But listen, I'm going to stop now. I'm not going to lose it yet, and let's continue to read this quote. "It will never happen to you because you are from Canada." And you know what? I can't even read the rest of this quote because with Drake trying to say that
I don't think anyone was thinking this. Being light skinned isn't something that has stopped other superstars.
he is a victim because of how he looks and because he's not a real gangster. Listen, I have seen it all. I don't even know what to say. And now, fortunately for Drake, the rest of this rant and for however long it went, it seemingly did get cut off because one of the Drake fans who ended up putting this thing out and did him the disservice of doing that, I guess did not want to post this entire thing because however it ended may have been even worse
Obviously, it's sad and egregious.
than what we are already hearing. And really with this is an entire new low that when we break down, I don't even know how to make sense of, because what we are seeing, first off, is Drake not just rewrite history and try to act like he had some of the worst odds to ever break into the rap game or break into the music industry, because that's just not the case. But within this, what we are also seeing with him doing another one of these insane monologues is more of what was supposed to be a concert where people would go to hear music into these vent
Well, people want to have a good time. They want to escape their problems, not be engulfed in more.
sessions where he is just showing how immature and embarrassing he really is. Because for anyone to be seeking validation in this sad of a way, well, listen, while somebody like Kendrick Lamar and Tyler the Creator thanked their fans and performed their greatest songs, and they did all of the searching they needed to on their own albums like Mr. Morale or Chromacopia. Well, listen,
And don't get me wrong, Kendrick Lamar and SZA do have moments where they speak to the crowd, but it feels organic. It doesn't seem like a badly done script just trying to aura farm.
while Drake was sitting here making fun of them, he is showing that he needed to do that himself because he has some serious issues that he really needs to work through. Because ultimately, to just see an artist start to yell at their fans and ask them to validate his delusion while making them perform his songs for him,
But fam, I saw there was a clip of him basically begging his fans to mosh. And if you really have to do that, then you've honestly failed. I've already been to one Grand National Tour show, and I'll be going to my second one in September in Mexico City. But all those crowd reactions were organic.
all at the same time. Well, again, this looks like something now that the guy who made Graduation once did, and when he did it, everybody went crazy. And what we are seeing here, I think, is not too far from that, just in terms of how we are seeing these people crash out on stage in front of us. And so really, when we put this into perspective, we are not just seeing a tour where there is a nightly meltdown and crash out, and that's
Exactly.
just becoming a regular thing that you can count on to see just as much as you see Drake doing the lamest karaoke possible. But really, when you look into this quote, what you see is that Drake is just saying literally anything and hoping that it makes some sort of sense. And the worst part about all of this is that now, while if Drake was just spiraling and people were laughing, well, then this wouldn't be as much of a problem.
Now, but the fans are obviously feeding fuel to the fire.
It would just be a man doing some strange things, I guess. Well, again, what's the difference between Drake and the guy who made Graduation and his rants is that this is not the case. As somehow what Drake is doing, it's kind of working on a group of people, as with there being this entire effort to still rewrite the beef and
Also, I feel like when Kanye was doing some of that stuff back then, it seemed a little more authentic. Again, this just seems like Drake trying to get sympathy. If he really wanted to change the perception, then he would just be transparent and own up to the things he has, something that he's obviously been allergic to.
Convince us that everything was a setup and that all the drama with the Not Like Us suit is real, and that this outcome is ultimately gonna flip when the Iceman reveals what's truly going on. Well, ultimately,
Least
with the
exciting
delusion that
rollout
is being
ever.
fed to all of these people who support a 40-year-old man Stranger Things superfan, and with acts like we are seeing Drake do right here, he is really making these problems worse and worse, and he's making people somehow support him more and more, which again just shows how you could just do anything and people will follow you at this point. I don't know what else to say. Because really now, while all of us can see through the lies and laugh at the fact that a 40-year-old man who has been in the industry for years and years,
Honestly, I don't even think age has anything to do with it. You see this energy from somebody that's 25 and it would still look away.
is acting like he just made it out and he has some crazy underdog story that never really was. Again, for the fans who love Drake, also love anything but hip-hop and its culture, love being annoying, and also Stranger Things, they are believing this, and as a result, the OVO echo chamber is getting louder and louder to the point where even with all the great hip-hop music and moments that are coming out, nothing can be enjoyed without getting yelled at by the people who support lame old Lawbury or people from OVO directly who just keep trying to take apart.
But again, guys, when somebody can't use facts that convey their argument, all you can really do is laugh.
Everything that's even the slightest amount of fun that we have. And this is important to understand because when you see the speeches and the meltdowns that just keep going down on this tour, what Drake is doing is just fully immersing himself into this persona of just lies and chaos and manipulation. Like it's the Green Goblin mask on him at this point, and he is going to follow this thing until he retires from music and just being the most annoying celebrity you possibly can. And again, if you don't believe what I'm saying here, we are really headed to a weird,
God, those braids are barely peeking out of the Scully.
and weirder place, and that is already clear. Because if we look at what Drake is doing with the rest of the OVO brand simultaneously alongside these rants, well, it's showing that the entire culture of this group is just surrounded and shrouded in hating Kendrick Lamar and thinking that everything was stolen from Drake and there's this huge conspiracy. Because, and this is real, if we look at how OVO released a collection of shirts that are really directly playing more into this idea that they have this big secret and that they were the victims to Kendrick Lamar. And
I will say this, they're very excited about that subpoena of Kojo, the alleged botter. But like I've said in multiple videos, this is something that's honestly industry-wide. It's a practice as old as time. Even before streaming, like I've said before, they would actually allocate some of the budget to buy albums first week when they were physical, because it has the same effect as botting does now. You create FOMO by creating this artificially hyped up excitement.
That he was this puppet or whatever they're trying to say, I don't even know anymore how to make sense of it. Well, really, when you see that the 40-year-olds who call themselves the Icemen and who are obsessed with Pinocchio believe that Drake still has not pressed this red
Does that make him Geppetto? And like I said, that's a metaphor for something a lot darker.
button, and this has all been this elaborate play, and now as a result they're believing these victim stories and they're getting uniforms for it now? What happened to the game I love? But seriously, these victim speeches are actually working on them, and with this we are...
It's not that they're working on them, they've already been indoctrinated. They've already made their mind as to who they believe Drake is, no matter how many facts that actually portray the exact opposite.
Just so past rapping and being the slightest bit in reality. Because again, with people defending Drake's lies and meltdowns and now giving him more support by wearing these anti-Kendrick Lamar uniforms,
I haven't seen one person wearing those, whether it's on the internet or in real life.
I mean, this is some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen, and when you root so much of your beliefs and your fan base now in things that are not real and there is no proof of, well, I don't know, Lawbree's living in Narnia or some sort of fantasy world where there are some strange things going on. Speaking of strange things, while Lawbree is going to continue to make these weird speeches, put out these weird shirts, I'm sure, and do whatever he can to try and look like the biggest loser there has ever been, all to try and gain more sympathy from these people who actually believe in him. Well, listen, we are at a point where Drake is getting the branding ready and the ideology right there to assemble the biggest group of Karens ever. And listen, at this point, if you are still on the fence about where to stand with this guy, I mean, all I can say is that if you are really believing in this stuff or you're getting these shirts or just support this movement in any sort of capacity, again, when you look at what you're contributing to and see how you're keeping this Green Goblin mask of lies further and further.
Well, yeah, if you're not holding him accountable, it's just giving him more license to think that this is working, when it obviously is not. I don't think this is convincing any casual or any person that's already made their mind. People are pretty set in how they feel about Lawbury right now.
Connected to Aubrey's personality. I mean, you're trying to ruin everything hip hop has ever stood for. And so now, with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about Drake just losing his mind here and playing the victim card in one of the most embarrassing ways we've ever?
Again, I just think it's just another missed strategy, another L move, but he's not going to listen to anyone logically. Stuff like this has obviously been on brand for him, but given the past year and a half, I don't know how you can claim to be a victim when you were like the main agitator in it all. I don't think these rants are convincing anyone. Honestly, the people that have already bought into Drake are already bought in. If anything, this is just going to push people that are casual, people that were on the fence, further away from him. This tour has honestly, like I said in the intro, been quite the mess, and I don't really see it getting any better, with clips like this just making him look like even more of a hypocrite. And you can't keep crying victim when we literally have you on tape being the first to throw out claims that obviously are scandalous and directed at family, yet be surprised when you're getting that type of energy. And again, I don't think I ever heard from anyone that Dave Free could be the father of one of Kendrick's kids. But the things said about Drake have been stuff that has been in the public sphere for a very long time. It's not like Kendrick just made any of that stuff up out of thin air. I mean, we have weird footage, we have weird interactions, and that's really what those records went off. So how can you claim that Kendrick is pushing these narratives when they've been around for at least 10 years now? No one made you kiss that 17-year-old girl up on stage when you were 24. No one made you speak on her anatomy. That was all you, fam. You've done this to yourself. So like I said, if you want to blame anyone, you first got to look inward. But definitely let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about these rants, and do you think they're actually convincing anyone? I feel like the only people that are falling for any of this stuff are people that were already convinced. So you're not doing a good job at changing anyone's minds. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is honestly overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. Guys, a big shout out to all those that have been joining YouTube memberships. A small way to support the channel, but definitely goes a long way, and you guys are so appreciated. And also a very big thank you to all those that have been sending super thanks, because honestly, this past month has been record setting in terms of super thanks. And guys, I am so grateful for all your support. I'm definitely looking forward to your take on this topic. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. And you can't keep showing Pinocchio imagery and have people not connect you to Geppetto.